Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 1st of November 2022. So bonds battered, Bitcoin bid, but the Dow soars to best October ever. So good news for the Dow. Stocks declined at month end, very quiet during yesterday's trade, which we'll look at in just a moment. And weak global data sees risk hit and dollar bid ahead of key events. Well, the dollar was bid yesterday, but overnight, a different picture. Economic news today before we get into the FOMC tomorrow and non-farm payrolls on Friday. 10 a.m. we've got USD, that's 10 a.m. New York time. Let me just refresh this. 2 p.m, that's more like it. 2 p.m, because the clocks have gone back in the UK, so the news is an hour earlier this week, and the Dow opens at 1:30. We've got ISM manufacturing. This is set to come out by 0.09 less, and we've got the JOLTS job openings as well, which is also set to show a decline. If these two come out lower than forecast, that's going to send the markets higher, but you'll see as I switch to the Dow, they already are moving higher on the overnight. Yesterday the markets managed to maintain support from the 200 MA in the Dow, despite the fact that we've got a very tiny inside bar. But overnight the market's moving up quite nicely, which you'll see there. We've had this move breakout to the upside. We're trading at yesterday's high at the moment, so there's still room for the Dow to move higher. It's going to be dependent on those ISM numbers. Let me just redraw some of these fibs in the daily chart. Let's have a quick look from here down to here. We're at 89% retracement at the moment. We need to break through this in order to move higher. So that's at the 32,926. Make it 33,000 there. That will be the sort of target. And if we break this, then on the upside we have we've got a 78 there as well. We've got a confluence of fibs at this area, which is very interesting to see. It'll be also important that the market holds till breaks through this level if it is to attack the 33,660, which takes us up to 89% of this major move from there projected back. So big move there. If we get to that level, I mean, what are we at? We're already up about 4,000, aren't we? So up to Friday still, we're still on that sort of 4,000, 4,341 for the Dow in the last less than a month, last 3 weeks. So 30-minute charts at the high. I don't know what the reason for the move is overnight, whether it's just quiet and they've been able to do this, I don't know. But the Dow certainly up on the overnight, but showing a bit of support there at the high. And again, this high now has to become a support, and the 5 bar as well. If not, then we'll head down to these different levels here. I would draw in from there to there as the first downside targets. We're already through 38, heading for 50, 62, 78, 89, and then you've got the real support there at this level, which takes you more or less to the 20 bar moving average. So even if we break yesterday's high and we trade down, watch this level here first. If that's broken, then we just redraw the fibs from the next one down, which is this one where we've got the solid line where the market put in a swing point. And there again you'll see that 62% ties in with the 20 bar moving average. You can do this all day long and you will find these areas of support and resistance. In the German DAX, also moving higher overnight at the 89% retracement from this swing point to here, projected back, and again attempting to get through the 13,377 level. Yesterday quiet inside bar, didn't do any trades yesterday, purely and simply it just wasn't moving. So hopefully with the movement overnight we'll get a few more trades today. In the 30 minutes DAX, you can see that we've not come back to the high yet, unlike the Dow, which has. Maybe that's the nervousness of the market coming in with the Fed meeting tomorrow night with its and proposing to raise rates by a further 0.75%. So the high very important for the DAX as well. And again, you can use these points as projections to work out where the market is likely to find support. And interestingly enough, I bet the high ties in quite nicely here with a fib, and it does. It's 78%. So the high will be very important for the German DAX if it does move that low during this morning or today's trading session. 5-minute chart, as you can see yesterday, absolutely dire. The market really quiet and just got into a 50-point range. As you can see there, after initial future sell-off, the cash market, after the cash market opened, just move this over a bit, there you go. Futures lower, bit of a bounce to the 50 EMA, one big bar down, then another one just to test, and the momentum already shifting, and then it just got into a sideways range. And interestingly enough, overnight the market's moved more than it did yesterday, which you can see there, a good 100 points higher by the looks of things. Let's just double check this. Coming off the DP there, up to the high, 99 points, there you go. So yeah, the market up 100 points on the overnight. You can see now as we're approaching the high that we looked at in the 30-minute chart, it's going to be an important area. 62% retracement in the 30-minute chart, which we've just looked at. 78% in the daily chart, and in the 5-minute chart you'll see that down to this point here to here we'll end up at 89 with the high as well. So the high, the 50 EMA, is going to be a very important area if there is any down move in the DAX. It's looking very positive at the moment to keep this market moving to the upside at the time of recording. In the S&P, we're also through the 89%. We've got some resistance to the left. But again, let me just remove these fibs to the downside because the market is not going down. There's no intentions of going down at the moment. So from this high to this low, you can see that we're through the 89 from the previous one. We're now stuck at 62% retrace. We need to get through this to get up to that 4,000 target is at 78, which is what it's gunning for this week. We'll have to wait and see if it has the momentum to do so, and the news to back it, of course. In the S&P there, we haven't taken out yesterday's high in the 30-minute chart. Bit of resistance there at the R1. And in the FTSE 100, this continuing to move up nicely, making its rising lows through the 50 EMA yesterday and up on the overnight as well, which we'll have a look at in the 30-minute in just a second. But from here, projected down and then back up. Let's just have a look, see what we've got as far as resistance. There's your targets on the upside, 7,192.59. Then you've got the 200 MA tying in with this resistance area here. And that price is going to be 7328. That's where the major resistance comes in on the upside for the FTSE 100. In the 30-minute charts, you can see that we've moved higher with the Dow, the SP and the DAX, but haven't come back to sit on the high yet. So good news there for the FTSE, moving up quite nicely there. In the currencies, also moving up on the overnight, GBP, JPY is moving higher there, finding support at the 5 MA. The 30-minute chart finding support at yesterday's close. No great shakes yet on the upside for the GBP, JPY. However, the pound is moving up on the overnight as well, bouncing off the 50 EMA in the daily chart. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see coming off yesterday's low. I don't know what sparked this, but the dollar down on the overnight, but the pound taking advantage of this and moving back nicely overnight there. And finally, as we're talking currencies, the dollar down on the overnight, as you can see there. Just going to remove this. Let's just draw in some fibs on the downside. These are the targets on the downside, just coming back to 38% there at the moment. You got your 50, 62, 78, 89, and the 50 tying in, 50 EMA and the 5 bar tying in. If I just remove the 38 there, you can see 50% retracement back from here down to here. There is a confluence of 3 indicators there as well. In the 30-minute chart, you'll see the sell-off overnight, which is rare to see, down to S1 at the moment for the dollar, which means that the silver market has had a really good bounce overnight, moving sharply to the upside in its sideways move, back to the top of the channel. 30-minute there, you can see really piling it on overnight at the moment. Same for gold, also moving higher, which you can see there. A straight reversal on yesterday already, so the volatility's returned overnight, hasn't it? 30-minute gold also moving to the upside there. And finally, the gold-silver ratio, you can see how silver price is powering ahead of gold, down to 83.78. So a big move down on the gold-silver ratio there. Okay, that's it for this one. Let's see what those ISM numbers will be at lunchtime, and also the JOLTS opening. That's going to bring some lively volatility back to the market when they're released, particularly if they're actually less. Any of these figures being less than forecast will be positive for the market. Now normally that wouldn't be the case, but given the interest rate environment we're in at the moment, it needs to be the other way. The numbers have to be less to show that there's pressure taken off the Fed, and that they can pivot, and then they can reconsider, because they will have cured inflation by this point, of course, because these numbers are dropping off. They've got it under control, will be their excuse to then stop increasing. That will bolster the stock market, irrespective of the fact that we're going into recession and everything else that's going on. It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant. It has been for the last 14 years. We've seen the markets just being pumped up on QE, and they're not even going down, are they? Let's face it. Even though, despite the fact that they're normalising rates. We'll say normalising would be 6 or 7%, but in their attempt to do so. So it looks like the Fed are getting close to the end of their rate increasing cycle, which is going to be very dangerous and stupid, frankly. But then we are dealing with a bunch of morons at the Fed, aren't we? Everybody else can see it except them. And we've also got the November the 8th midterm elections coming up. So they're going to keep pumping the markets to the upside on any excuse. So watch these numbers at 2 p.m. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.